I am now introducing Insane Ian. Achievement unlocked!
The world's longest-running comedy music concert series is back.
So this song is about following your dreams and never giving up. Yay! It's also about the Hulk.
Marscon 2025 is taking place March 7th through 9th at the Hilton Minneapolis St. Paul Mall of America Hotel in Bloomington, Minnesota.
Can I get a celebratory woo? Woo! Woo! Thank you.
This year's event will have performances by Worm Quartet, Devo Spice, The Great Luke Ski, Insane Ian, Carrie Dalby, Meow Meme, Steve Goody, Nuclear Bubble Wrap, The Odd Ditties, Holy Bongwater, Regdar and the Fighters, Primordial Pouch, and this year's comedy music guests of honor, sponsored by Needlejuice Records, John S. Hall and Dog Bowl of King Missile Dogfly Religion.
I don't go to recitals anymore because my hearing is too sensitive, and I don't go to art galleries anymore because there are people there, and I can't deal with people.
Registration for a weekend badge is $55 until January 31st. After that, it'll be $70 at the door. To pre-register and for more info on MarsCon, visit marscon.org.
Please continue to hold. Your comedy music will be with you shortly.
You are currently the 27th caller in line.
But whether you're attending or not, you can still help out by ordering the Marscon 2025 Comedy Music Fundraiser album. Available as an MP3 download for just $30. It's just under 4 hours of highlights from all of the live concerts of Marscon 2024.
Guys like prop comedy? Well, I don't. Next track.
This year's album includes comedy music by Marscon 2024's music guest of honor, Andy Merrill, also known as Brack.
This is what it sounds like when dogs cry. Ah, oh my gosh! Oh my God! You'll give me bread.
If you'd like to hear a free 30-minute preview of the collection, there's a link to download that at our website.
I need moisture. Can I get a moisture?
Moisture, moisture, moisture.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
You can order and download the album right now from the shops page at marsconcomedy.com.
These are all dumb parody ideas, and that's the point. It's supposed to be dumb. We're dumb for doing them. You're dumb for being here. Our next contestant.
Thanks for listening, funny music fans, and we hope to see you all at Marscon 2025.
We did it, everybody! We're going to the moon!
Last year I took my pants off. This is as close as you're getting.
Greetings, Internet, and welcome to another episode of A Comedy Musician Reacts. My name is Insane Ian, and I am a comedy musician and comedy music fan, and on this show I react to comedy music from the perspective of a comedy musician, because that's what I am, and that's what I do, and that's what this is, and that's why you're here, and that's why today I am reacting to two nominees for the Logan Whitehurst Memorial Awards for Excellence in Comedy Music, aka the Logan Awards, also known as the Comedy Music Awards. If this is your first time joining us, yes, I am a comedy musician, and I react exclusively to comedy music because that is where my field of expertise lies. What this means for you is that I'm going to pause the video. Kind of a lot, actually. This way I'm not talking over or laughing over the jokes and missing them. This way I can discuss how the video and song work in tandem to help enhance the comedy. Sometimes I'm analyzing, sometimes I'm summarizing, sometimes I'm explaining jokes, because that's always fun for people, and sometimes I'm just sitting back and laughing my damn head off. It's a crapshoot whatever you're going to get, but I think it's a good time. If you like that sort of thing, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all the things to feed the algorithm to get more eyeballs onto these videos. And if you really want to help the channel out, consider supporting me on Patreon, where patrons get to see these videos early, get my music and comedy early, and all sorts of other cool things like that. Anyway, all of that out of the way, let us dive into today's two videos. The first up is Billy Cobb's 2005, which is nominated for Outstanding Parody Song this year in the Logan Awards. It is a parody of 1985, made famous by Bowling for Soup. Bowling for Soup did not do this song originally. Bowling for Soup's 1985 is a cover. It's actually originally by a Baltimore band called SR-71, and Bowling for Soup covered it and made it famous. This is a parody inspired by a tweet here. Now, I will say Billy Cobb apparently does a lot of really interesting music, a lot of covers, a lot of kind of clever songs. This, I think, is their first parody. I think. I'm not sure. But the tweet, if 1985 by Bowling for Soup was released today, it'd be called 2005. Exact same time gap. Cool. Let's dive in and feel old. Billy Cobb is just a dude. Oh, is that Star Wars Battlefronts? Resident Evil 4 and the gorillas.
Steve just hit the wall. He never had the balls. Takes once in a day. Still listens to Coldplay. Calendar on the top.
Still listens to Coldplay. Yeah, I guess they've been around for a while. It's hard to believe that 2005 was 20 years ago. It's disturbing to me, because I still think of, we're in 2025, and I still think of, like, 2005 as, oh, that was only, like, 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, because the concept of time is crushing all of our souls. Yay, comedy. Sorry.
Says 2024, can't afford his own land or all his streaming plans. He was gonna be a skater.
Tony Hawk.
He was gonna be a punk.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, played the crap out of that. That was great. Yeah, also this song came out in 2024, so it was only 19 years ago then. Both of these songs came out in 2024 because they are for the 2024 Logan Awards. Well, the 2025 Logan Awards, obviously, they're happening this year, but they are for the songs that came out in the previous year. They're going to be at Marscon, which was the ad that was just before all of this. By the way, go support Marscon. Pick up the Marscon compilation featuring highlights from all the concerts from last year, so that the artists who are performing at Marscon have a place to sleep this year. I'm one of the artists. I'm performing at Marscon this year in St. Paul, Minneapolis. So if you are in the area, come out to Marscon. See me. I'm going to be hosting the whole weekend and also performing on Sunday and hosting the Logan Awards, of which I'm the chairperson, obviously. Anyway, enough ad break in the middle here. Let's go back a couple seconds here.
Says 2024, can't afford his own land or all his streaming plans.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't afford your own land. Can't buy a house or afford every streaming service that's out there now. Like, the real reason we got the streaming services is because cable was getting too expensive. And so we decided to just go with Netflix instead. And then Hulu came along and was like, well, if you miss those shows that were on network TV, they'll be here the day after. You can still see them. And other sources came in. Peacock and Paramount Plus and Apple Plus and Discovery Plus and AMC Plus. A lot of pluses. And all these streaming services are like, hey, we're network TV and cable, but just us. Help us out. Max, which was originally HBO Max, and then it was before that it was HBO Go, and like they've dropped the HBO entirely, and Zaslav is a terrible thing. But yes, too many streaming things. It's having them all is like paying for cable again. It's widely expensive, and a lot of things you're not watching that you're ending up paying for. The cycle continues. So yeah, that's that.
He was gonna be a skater. He was gonna be a punk. He was gonna go on cribs and show off all his junk.
Not his junk, but his junk, his things, his stuff. Cribs, for people who may not remember, was a show on MTV back when they kind of played music occasionally, where musicians usually, and then just random celebrities, would show off their house on MTV, their crib, their house on MTV, and look at how much money I have, and I've done this with it. Tommy Tallarico, a video game musician who made music for games, supposedly, would often tout that he was on MTV Cribs. He never was. There's a video of him doing a Cribs-like thing. It was not MTV's Cribs. He was never on it. H-Bummer guy has a great video about Tommy Tallarico. It didn't start out being a video about Tommy Tallarico, but it's great. You should check it out. It's like 4 hours.
His countless DVDs are now the enemy.
Yes, burning your own DVDs or burning your own CDs definitely was a thing in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. That's how I started producing albums and records, and I was producing tribute albums and self-burning them, and producing my own comedy music and burning it myself, and that moved on to DVDs later on. I still love physical media. I have a ton of DVDs and Blu-rays and video games in this office that you can't see because the camera's always pointed over here to this corner. Physical media still is a thing for me. I'm old. And also, most of the time, streaming services are pulling things away sometimes. Stuff that you've bought digitally can just vanish. So having the physical CD to still be able to watch and enjoy that product kind of is a necessity now. Physical media is coming back, weirdly, because history is cyclical. Mike Myers in that Kanye clip. When Kanye, it was for the hurricane relief in the early 2000s, and Kanye West, I think, said George Bush doesn't care about black people, and Mike Myers is standing next to him just going, that's not in the script, and I feel suddenly very uncomfortable. Let's take it back here a minute and talk about something that gets brought up a lot in parody songs, and it's something that I don't discuss very often on this show when talking about comedy music. Parody songs, writing a parody is a little bit more difficult and intricate than a lot of people give it credit for. And this is a failing of myself that my producers have pointed out to me on numerous occasions, and I'll show you what I mean with these lyrics here. Okay, Green Day, Nickelback, way before Doja Cat. When you're writing a parody, and you're trying to fit the lyrics that you've written into music that already exists, part of what a lot of parody artists do, unintentionally, is try to sing those parody lyrics in the same tempo and the same rhythm that the original is sung, even though that's not how someone would sing that lyric normally. Putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable is what I mean. Nickelback, hitting the "kul" in nickel, nobody hits the middle syllable in that word, Nickelback. You hit it in the K, not the EL. So Nickelback is not Nickelback. You know what I'm saying? So, way before Doja Cat, it's Doja Cat. It's kind of more fluid that way, not Doja Cat. Hitting that syllable on that part, yes, that is where the original lyric would hit that syllable and would hit that emphasis in the original version of the song. But doing that in the parody seems like you're just trying to squeeze a word in where it almost fits. Putting that emphasis on that syllable in that word doesn't make musical sense. And this is something that I myself have done numerous times in parodies. And until my producer pointed it out to me, it wasn't something I was really aware that I was even doing. And there's a lot of parody artists out there who do this kind of thing. It's not a bad thing per se. It is a noticeable thing. And in it being noticeable, it makes it seem like fitting that phrase in there doesn't work exactly the same way that you want it to. If you're going to put something in there, either sing it how you would actually pronounce it and kind of dismiss the rhythm and pronunciation of the original song, because you're putting the emphasis there on that particular part of the word that is never emphasized when you just say it. Or, fit something else there. That's the ideal thing, is put a word there that makes sense to be in there. Or just sing it like you don't care, like you're trying to emulate the original down to where you're putting the emphasis on notes. Like they've done here, like I've done many times myself. Sometimes it's unavoidable. If you're trying to get a joke across, and this is the joke that you want to say, and you're putting it here in this song, sometimes singing it to how the original does the rhythm is the only way you can get it across. And that's fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just something that, to people who either A, don't know it's a parody, or B, who explicitly know it's a parody and know what you're trying to do, it rings weird in the ear. You're hearing that weird emphasis on that word. Nickelback. It's Nickelback. You're hitting the wrong syllable. Not wrong syllable, but hitting a different syllable. So it's a noticeable thing. That's all I'm trying to say. It is something that is prevalent in parody music, especially, obviously because you're singing to a rhythm of a pre-established version of the song. And as a comedy songwriter, it is something that most comedy songwriters would try to avoid. Most more non-amateur, I would say, more experienced comedy writers, there we go, more experienced comedy writers would try to avoid, because it is something that sits weird in the ear, it is something that is noticeable, and it is something that most experienced artists would try to avoid. Not saying that Billy is not experienced, has a large plethora of songs on his channel, lots of different covers and unique songs. Like I said, I think this is his first parody, so, you know, that, again, parody is a weird art in that sense. Not to go off on a rant, but this, you know, every so often on A Comedy Musician Reacts, I try to react specifically in the realm of writing comedy songs, and especially for songs that are nominated for a Comedy Music Award, I feel that's kind of something I should bring to the experience here. But anyway, rant over, let us continue. There it is again, 50 Cent, hitting the T in 50. The emphasis on that word is in the first syllable, 50. It's like trying to write something in iambic pentameter or tetramic meter, like Edgar Allan Poe's writing on the tetrameter, you know, trying to hit the stressed unstressed syllables. And you're stressing a syllable that is not normally stressed in a word to try to make it fit that rhythm. And the only reason I know about stressed, unstressed, and tetrameter is frickin' MC Lars's songs about Edgar Allan Poe. And of course, iambic pentameter, I'm an actor. I've done Shakespeare, so you understand, you know, writing in the iamb and stuff. Yeah, again, just a thing I notice orally. That sounded fun. When cameras had tripods instead of holding it on a selfie stick on your cell phone. And that great iPod commercial where it's all like silhouettes except for the iPod itself, it was iconic. You know, you noticed what the thing they were selling in that commercial was. That's great. And there, on the actual 2000, 2005, he says 2000 a normal way. Instead of 1985, 2005, he would try to hit the Zend, but he just says 2005 more straight across. It's a little harder to hear on that one when I was doing it, but it sounded more straight across than trying to hit the emphasis on 1985, 2005. Yeah, because the end would be... Yeah. I love all these clips of like all these things that happened from 2005, all these music videos and commercials and video games and events that were occurring in 2005 to kind of give it into the era here. And he's singing in front of a projector that's projecting it onto him and the wall behind him. But because this is using a lot of clips, I can see why this was not nominated in the music video category and only nominated in the parody category. Again, it's just something about recycled clips and stuff like that. You know, it is an official music video, but it is also reusing a lot of clips.
He's seen all the classics, he knows every script. King Kong, Goblin of Fire, and Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, those are seminal 2005 movies, I guess. The King Kong remake was a really big event. Had an actually really great video game tie-in, not to get off on a tangent. But, you know, I loved Revenge of the Sith. I loved King Kong. I loved Harry Potter at the time. Don't really much anymore. And there are many reasons for that. But, you know, again, we're hitting... You're going to... Since I've pointed it out, you might hear a couple more instances of hitting those syllables weirdly in this song. We just had it, so let's take it back a little bit here.
He's seen all the classics, he knows every script. King Kong, Goblin of Fire, and Revenge of the Sith. He rocked out to T.I., not a big Ed Sheeran guy. He knows every word when hearing Mr. Brightside.
All right, that one, the rhythm of it was kind of ignored when hearing Mr. Brightside. Just said it in the rhythm how it would be normally written or sung without hitting weird syllables in the middle of words. That was great. Yeah, like, not a big Ed Sheeran fan. Who's, you know, Ed Sheeran wasn't big in 2005, really big now. And that Photoshop of him suddenly frowning and with a giant emoji tear was great. We haven't gotten to this lyric yet, but where's Guitar Hero? My first big comedy song as this iteration of Insane Ian, which is, honestly, Insane Ian is a name that I've had since high school, doing comedy music. But I finally got serious about doing comedy music again after college. I was in a band in college named Insane Ian. It was a whole thing. But I restarted doing it again, and my first big song that was played on the Dr. Demento show hit number 11 for the year, which for me is just number 1 twice, was a parody of Jukebox Hero by Foreigner called Guitar Hero. It is my first big song. Music videos here on the channel. Shameless plug. Hooray. Anyway. Guitar Hero was an enormous video game in 2005. I was working at GameStop at the time. Actually, no, I was working at Electronics Boutique at the time, EB Games, and they got bought by GameStop. Ugh. How does he do the pronunciation of Guitar Hero there? Guitar Hero. And yeah, even in my parody of Guitar Hero, when it's Jukebox Hero, I go Guitar Hero, which, yes, if you're breaking up the word, you are putting the right emphasis on each of those parts. Guitar Hero. When you're spacing it out, putting a break in the word, it makes it move a little long there. But there was a weird emphasis in this one too. That's a great lyric. Where did the winners go of American Idol? And again, American or American, like hitting a syllable to make it fit the scheme of the line. Okay. And when did YouTube get advertisements? Yeah, YouTube is what came out in 2005, or was it 2006? Or was it 2004? I don't remember when YouTube started, but I know it's been almost 20 years. My very first video on this channel is 18 years old. It is a music video I did for Weird Al's You're Pitiful, which is an unreleased Weird Al song. Was supposed to be on Straight Out of Linwood, but James Blunt's record label did not let him do the parody of You're Beautiful, even though James Blunt gave permission for it. So Weird Al released it on his website instead as a free download. And the week after he released it, I had released a music video for that song. 2 videos, actually. We had 2 different endings to it, so we shot it twice and did different edits for it. And yeah, I used to get recognized at Weird Al concerts for being the guy who did the Weird Al music video. If you want to see it, it's like the very first video on my channel. But that's from 18 years ago. So YouTube's been around at least 18 years, if not 20 at this point. But yeah, crazy. Absolutely weird. To think that, yes, YouTube has been around that long, and also, it didn't have ads before. People posting on it weren't getting paid. But, you know, one has to beget the other because capitalism. Flip phones and flash games. Wow, that is a throwback. Flash doesn't exist anymore. They don't support Flash anymore. If you're going to get Flash animation, websites that were run on Flash animation do not run anymore. Yeah, that is a thing of 20 years ago. It was the biggest thing for a lot of animators. You know, I think Newgrounds was a lot of Flash animation. They're doing a documentary about Newgrounds now. With, you know, there was so much doing... Yeah, guys, welcome to the video. If you're wondering why this has taken me so long to get through a 3-minute song, I talk a lot. Shut Up Ian is not just a suggestion. It is a song by Insane Ian. Streaming now. Anyway, there's so much going on with, like, how much time has changed. It's, you know, we realize that when we listen to 1985, when how much difference there was between what happened in the 80s and what was happening in 2005 when this original song, well, their cover of the song came out. And now it's the same difference 20 years later. How much has changed in 20 years? It doesn't feel like it's been a lot of change, and then when you hear all the things that were pointed out in this song, yes, it is a lot of change. And once again, I feel old. There is, I will say, something, and I've pointed this out in videos before, as a parody song writer, sometimes you want to change the chorus every time. In the original song, the chorus is the same, but when writing for comedy, sometimes it's a good idea to change the chorus every time so you can fit in more jokes. We've already heard the jokes of Mike Myers in that Kanye clip. So let's try to write something new for that. Let's name other bands that were popular at the time instead of just Green Day, Nickelback, Akon, 50 Cent, stuff like that. Put in some more names that might fit a little better, or also might not fit a little better, might be a little more awkward. Lean into the awkwardness. That's the thing. With comedy music, despite there being rules, there technically are no rules. I've said this before, where if something doesn't quite fit the meter or scansion in a parody song, make the fact that it doesn't fit the joke. Anything is possible in the comedy songs. Just, you know, some people might point it out and talk about it at length, apparently. But it is still something that is acceptable because it's a comedy song, so people write it off as, oh wait, no, they're doing that for comedic effect. And because of that, almost anything goes, I guess. But it still has to have at least some comedic merit to doing it. Regardless of that fact. If you want to fit in more jokes per capita in your song, and honestly, why wouldn't you? It's a comedy song. Changing the chorus is generally a good idea to fit more jokes, and also for the listener, because the listener has already heard those jokes in the first time the chorus went by. So hearing them again doesn't always gel, doesn't always mesh with their listening experience. They kind of tune out in the chorus because, oh, I've already heard this part. Weird Al famously will always, and I hate to go back to Weird Al as an example, but he is the most well-known example of a parody artist who has been popular and award-winning. But in The Saga Begins, yes, Weird Al does keep the same chorus throughout the song. That's because it is a 5-minute song, and there's so many lyrics, he's able to recap the entirety of the Star Wars Episode 1 in it. So keeping the choruses the same in that are fine. That's your through line. That's when you know, oh, we're back to the chorus again. This is the sing-along part. So everybody, it's the same for every time. Everybody can sing along for this part, because the original song, The Day the Music Died, American Pie, yes, that's a sing-along portion of the song. That's the part everybody knows out of the song, and the verses everybody's kind of like stumbling along with. So when it, you get a feeling for that song. But in other songs, changes the chorus every time. So yeah, there is precedent for both. In this song, I think it would benefit more from changing that chorus. As a writer myself, again, just saying this as what I would have done personally as a comedy musician. I mean, they were always alternative, but I guess alternative pop, just kind of adding another word, they've always been alternative. They weren't grunge. I mean, they came out in the grunge era, and they were from Seattle, but just like the Presidents of the United States of America, I wouldn't have called them grunge. They were from Seattle. They came out in the grunge era, 1993, 94, but they were not a grunge act. They were power pop and with punk elements, punk pop elements, but they were definitely more peppy and happy than most of the grunge artists of the era. And that was kind of their selling point, and kind of with Weezer too, so.
Still wears a shirt that says, vote for Pedro. Please make this stop, and bring back...
No ticking of a clock there. That's fine. Not that it's a needed element, but it's what it was in the Bowling for Soup version. But yeah, still wears a shirt that says "Vote for Pedro." Wow, Napoleon Dynamite was 20 years ago, and people wearing a Napoleon Dynamite shirt in 2004 would definitely be a eyebrow raiser. Not that there's anything wrong with that movie or wearing that shirt, nobody needs to be a gatekeeper about, the length of time that you've worn a shirt for, but I still find it amusing that this is, like, the keystone pop culture element that we're putting into this verse is the vote for Pedro. And, at the time, yeah, Napoleon Dynamite was a huge freaking movie. I loved that movie. My wife hated it. But it is definitely, yeah. There's a weird appreciation I'm having for having Napoleon Dynamite and Vote for Pedro shirts be the keystone element in the bridge here. Yeah. I liked how in the chorus reprise here, because we went through the chorus once and then we're going through the chorus a second time, we've finally used different clips of Green Day, Nickelback, Akon, 50 Cent, but Mike Myers in that Kanye clip is the same clip, because that is the reaction. Him saying it and Mike Myers going, what the fuck is... I like that has stayed the same. Okay. Different part of the commercial.
2005.
Yeah, okay. Bravo to Billy Cobb. That was a great parody. I really enjoyed that. Again, being a little nitpicky about scansion and syllable use is one thing. But again, like I said, also, sometimes the rules don't matter and you're doing things for comedic effect. Or also, sometimes you're doing it just because the original song is so recognizable. It was such a pop culture keystone itself, the song that you're parodying, that singing it to that original rhythm is just trying to evoke the same feeling as that song. And that's okay too. Again, none of the things that I pointed out are inherently wrong per se. They are just things that I notice and myself personally try to avoid. All of that said, let us dive into the next song. The next song is by an artist named CHILIØ, I think that's how you pronounce that name, called I'm an Adult and Life's Still a Nightmare, which is a parody of Simple Plan's I'm Just a Kid and Life is a Nightmare. So it's like the sequel song. 2 sequel songs nominated for parody here. Somebody in the comments for the Billy Cobb song said, this is the song Debbie's kids would sing when 1985 came out by Bowling for Soup. This is the sequel they would have sung. That makes a lot of sense, making that song a sequel. And I'm an Adult and Life's Still a Nightmare, obviously referencing how I'm a kid, I'm just a kid and Life is a Nightmare, is a sequel now. CHILIØ, I will say, not a comedy artist at all. Does, I'm not sure how to describe the music, kind of emo metal type stuff. Really, really interesting artist. This is the only funny song that I've seen on their channel. Ironically, this song actually came out a couple years ago. However, now, saying that, people are like, well, how is it eligible for the 2024 Logan Awards if it came out a couple years ago? This is a re-recording and new music video for that song. The original recording did not quite have a full band sound, and was kind of a little lo-fi version of the recording. This is a re-recording. Also had been promoted on TikTok a lot and in shorts. There was a shorter version, obviously, for those formats, which got the new version more popular. So let us dive into the new version of I'm an Adult and Life's Still a Nightmare by CHILIØ. Time to Adult.
I woke up before 7, ignoring my depression just to get dressed for a job that I hate. I popped some meds that taste like chalk. It's my birthday, got some socks. What's another day?
Man, all sorts of relatable shit happening in these songs lately. Take some meds that taste like chalk. It's my birthday, got some socks, and then like the confetti explosion. Really, really enjoyed that. And again, this is shot in the thumbnail for this is a full screen thumbnail, but the video is shot in the vertical mode, much like any short or TikTok would be, even though it is a full song. So let's take it back a little bit here. Really, really digging this already.
That's for a job that I hate. I popped some meds that taste like chalk. It's my birthday, got some socks. What's another day paying loans?
Counting down till you're debt free. Oh, know that feel. Holy crap.
And all your friends are gone with kids of their own. Hope no one knows I'm an adult and life is a nightmare. I'm an adult and I'm growing gray hairs.
I'm an adult and I'm growing gray hairs. Again, a little bit of the putting emphasis on a weird syllable there. A little bit, not as noticeable, but yeah, I'm growing some gray hairs a little bit myself. There was a time when this short aside here. I know I do a lot of asides. When I was in high school, late high school, early college, and starting to grow facial hair, it came in at this color. the hair is a little darker and going gray, but this was always kind of white. Not really white, it was very light blonde. I started out, my hair was a lot lighter than this color. I had kind of a strawberry blonde thing going. And I'm working in a music store at the time. And somebody walks in the store and goes, "Yo man, how you get your joint white?" And I go, "It just grows that way." That's a true story. That really happened, and it was also true about my beard. Now, years later, when my hair started darkening, so did the beard, the goatee, what have you, whatever I was growing at the time. So there are photos that I have seen that are only a few years old where this is a lot darker than I remember it being. And now that it's so super light, I'm like, I'm starting to feel my age. I'm wondering if I should dye this. I don't think I should. Seeing the gray hairs on the side, feeling like a little Reed Richards, Doctor Strange action happening up there, but not really, not yet, because it's not all the way. It's just like one or two hairs on the side. But this is starting to get whiter. So I'm wondering if dyeing the beard is not a thing I should consider. Leave your suggestion in the comments. Yay, interaction. Alright, anyway, back to the song. Okay. This is an element where the video does something more than the lyrics have done. Yeah, the world is having more fun than me is the lyric, but he's looking at a box of Oreo-O's, which, why isn't the cereal just called Oreos? Oreo-O's. Reading the nutrition facts on the side, and then cut to a shot of him dejectedly enjoying a bowl of muesli. That is great comedy. That is something that is told visually that you don't need to explain in the lyrics, but enhances the comedy of what's happening in the lyrics. This is exactly what I try to talk about in making a comedy music video. How what you are sharing visually helps enhance what the song is already establishing in its theme. Brilliant. Love that. Also, this song sounds fucking phenomenal. I really liked the sound of 2005 by Billy Cobb, but there's something to this that sounds so very close to the Simple Plan song. I think it may be the vocals, because the Bowling for Soup original of 1985, Jarrett Reddick sings at kind of a higher register than Billy Cobb does, so Billy Cobb's singing it, I think, almost an octave lower. This dude sounds like the lead singer of Simple Plan. So there is something with that correlation to be like, oh yeah, this is just the original song. Oh wait, no, this is a sequel to that song, and it's funny. There is something to be said for parodies that stick so close to the sound of the original. There is something about that helps enhance the comedy for me. That is why there was such a difference between artists that did parodies on the Dr. Demento show before Weird Al and artists who do a parody of a song on the Dr. Demento show after Weird Al. Because Weird Al really established after that first album. The first album is more punk than anything, and he doesn't try to go for much of a sound alike. But once he did a parody of Beat It called Eat It, and tried to sound exactly like Michael Jackson in the music production, that elevated these parodies. A lot of other parodies on the Dr. Demento show of different comedy artists were either people who are using royalty-free songs and just playing them on piano, or using a weird orchestral version, or just playing them on a guitar, like a lot of folk artists would do, or something like that, to going to a full band and having full music production to try to recreate the exact sound of that artist. There is a big difference between how people listen to those parodies and how people sometimes enjoy those parodies. There's an appreciation for trying to recreate the original sound, for me, which is why it's something that I do on my own records. Anyway, taking it back. All these shots of him playing guitar in front of all these adult places that he has to go now because he's an adult. It's great. Not that it has anything to do with the song, but The fade outs, by the way, the composition of this video is really good because he's staying in almost the same place in the frame. So when you're doing a crossfade, it's almost a match cut to him being in the same spot and just the surroundings changing. But so when he's filming in front of this registry and there are people in the background waving at the camera and pointing and doing stuff, that's hilarious. Yes, filming in public, sometimes that happens. I really enjoy that. Having to deal with the garbage and water the plants. That grass was dead. That is not plants. It's a lost cause. Unless you're planting new seed, there's nothing there will grow. But yes, Growth Corporation Weed.2. Okay. File taxes. Sure. Yeah, that's because you put the bananas in the fridge. Don't put the bananas in the fridge. That's how to make them go bad quicker. I mean, bananas go bad pretty quickly. You look at a banana, hey, I'm green. Oh, not ready to eat. The next day, oh, too late, you missed your window. Completely covered in bruises now and horribly and squishy. Bananas make up your mind. That's not personal experience or anything. Let's go take a bag a little second here. I do like how these are like prop envelopes. They're not actually his insurance envelopes. You know, one says insurance, one says loan interest, and some principal too. Because that's how bills work, unfortunately. You think you're paying the bill, but no, it's going to take the interest first, and then some of the principal payment. You're taking the interest more than the actual payment. Yeah, bills. Yeah, just all the normal adulting that we have to do. It's so benign and mundane. And the idea of taking like a mundane task or a mundane topic and putting it in a song inherently makes it comedic. The best example of that, and again, always going back to Weird Al because he is the most well-known version of artists that do this type of thing, is taking a song that is so outrageous already. A song that is, you know, just bizarre on paper, and turning it into something mundane, is his parody of R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet. Trapped in the Closet is a weird fucking song, man. And R. Kelly is also very problematic, but that's neither here nor there. We're just talking about the song. The song is weird, and it keeps getting weirder, and there's like 20-some parts to it. And so Al parodied the first 3 parts and made it the most mundane, daily thing that nobody really thinks about, trapped in the drive-thru. And it's brilliant because he's pointing out the inherent comedy parts of everyday life, of going to the drive-thru with your wife when you can't decide on what to do for dinner. And the weird rigmarole of placing an order and making sure the order's right and getting home or close to home later and realizing you didn't check the bag and the order was wrong. You know, various things that we all do every day, and pointing out the inherent comedy in the mundanity of everyday life. And that is exactly what this song is doing. Everyday adult life, the things that we have to do daily to survive, to live, to get to the next day, paying our bills, making sure the groceries are right, vacuuming, taking out the trash. They're annoying, mundane tasks. They have to be done. You have to do them as an adult. But pointing that out points out the inherent ridiculousness and comedy that is held within the mundane tasks. Love it. Take it back in just a little bit here. That again, that rhythm there, those lines fit that rhythm perfectly. And yes, joints cracking everywhere. You never feel older than when you stand up and your knees complain loudly. And I mean that. feeling the actual crackety happen as you stand and go, oh, that's a noise I haven't heard before. You know you're getting old when every time you sit or stand, you verbalize it. You know, just, you're making dad noises. That's what we call them. Making dad noises when you get up and down. That's a problem. I love the fireworks on I'm an Adult. And I also love that I was talking about getting up and standing down and groaning, making dad noises, and then it suddenly becomes a lyric. I love when that happens on this show. Yes, I know if I didn't pause and say it and just waited for it, it would happen. But it means so much more that I did pause and talked about it and then it happened. It means that we're on the same wavelength. It means that as a comedy writer, you know, yes, okay, maybe the joke might be predictable in some sense, but at the same time, sometimes that predictability is a good thing. Sometimes that predictability means that you're engaging with your audience to a point of, yes, I know that. It's the Leonardo DiCaprio meme of him pointing at the screen and go, yes, you know, this is exactly that feeling of, you know, hey, I recognize that, I know that feeling, I experience that myself. And that's a good thing. Looking at your credit score, and this credit score is 420, hey, that's the sex number. It's just very funny to me. Lots of really good jokes in the visuals versus the lyrics too. Really good. Oh yes, not just throwing out your recyclables or your trash, but also your compost. That's an adult thing. That's, you don't care about that when you're a teenager or in college or a kid. Just, I spend my money on cookware really tickled me. That was just a really good line. And as much as I'm talking about the music video versus the lyrics here, it's almost a shame that this song isn't nominated for music video. This song is just nominated in the parody song category, much like the song previous to this one. But this is a great video too. It's a great song, but I think the video is definitely enhancing a lot of the comedy that we're seeing in this. Excuse me, I really enjoy this one. I'm enjoying this one a lot, and the video is definitely help enhancing that. But again, the song on its own, still a great song. Oh. Don't fit in my favorite jeans. There's something that I feel quite a bit. Trying to lose weight now. That's a thing. Also, my body is falling apart. That happens with age too. I'm just a medical marvel. Just, you know, remember guys, for those of you who are normally on this channel, last couple of months I was out because of falling apart. In the hospital a lot and all that sorts of shit. Yay, age. But yeah, no. Too relatable, almost. Okay, I need to see what these book titles are. How to be an adult, he's searching for. Neatest little book to stock market investing. The Reluctant Entrepreneur. How to win friends and influence people. Whew. Pulling out the gray hairs. Scooping up the dog poop. We barely saw a dog in one shot when he's putting the trash in the trash can and the bag wouldn't fit. And the dog is there. Always love a dog in a video. And a cat. But also, scooping up the dog poop on gravel. There's no grass. There's no watering of plants. It's a callback to the watering plants part. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but that was great. Oh, having to put a snake down the drain to clear out all the hair, and clearing the air filter on the fan. I like how there's like clearly not a phone screen of the adult of the boss. This is a bunch of searches. How to quit your job? When will AI replace my job? How to tell if it's something to poop? How to clean washer filter? Am I too old to listen to pop punk? How to make friends as a grown up? That's relatable. The last one was, what does skibbity mean? Great elements that, again, you would only really see in a pause, but great comedy things to have in your video as little Easter eggs to see pick up on a second viewing, or if you're a reactor who pauses videos. That's great stuff. It's good storytelling too. He's been searching how to quit my job. Talks about getting dressed for a job that I hate in the very first couple lines of the song, and now he's on the phone with the boss in this little breakdown. We have this little voiceover element. It's something else you do in comedy songs. I don't remember if there's a voiceover element, like a little dialogue piece in the original I'm Just a Kid. But you can have that in your comedy song parody of a song to kind of do more storytelling. It's not used in every parody song and shouldn't be, but in songs where it fits, absolutely is great. Can't come in on Saturday. Also, that shot of just trying to get spaghetti stains out of Tupperware, that's relatable. Weird. Just falling asleep in the middle of the day. You know what? Naps in the middle of the day for children is underrated. Adults need it too. We should just take a little siesta in the middle of the day, like 3 p.m. or something. It'd be good. Tetris. You know what? That's just throwing back to 1985. Tetris and Super Mario. Well, Super Mario was in 85. Tetris was more late 80s, early 90s, 80, 88, 89, 90, especially 1990 when the Game Boy came out. I know too much about weird things. Anyway. Actually, let's take it back there. Also, that was Mario 3, so that was also late 80s, early 90s. Groceries: milk, ramen, rice, cereal, beans, KD, frozen taquitos, Costco hot dogs, ground beef, fruit gushers, Oreos, fruit by the foot, Red Bulls, and frozen pizza pops. Pizza pops? I don't know what those are. But yeah, like, we get, like, your normal adult things, and then, you know what? No, screw it. Let's put the kids' stuff on there. Oreos and fruit by the foot. I always get Oreos. Always. That's why I need to lose weight. Wow. And I'm too self-aware. And again, you're hitting the weird syllable there. Self-aware instead of I'm an adult and I'm too self-aware. Yeah. When I'm used to the rhythm, I sing it too. And I'm too self-aware. Self-aware. Yeah, that's just how you sing it because you want it to fit the meter of the original song. You want it to fit the rhythm of that original line. Again, not inherently bad, just noticeable. But also, that line, very relatable. I'm self-aware that I'm adult and having to do all these things that I freaking hate. Yeah. I'm sorry, personal care lubricant. Just noticed what that was. Moving on. Coupons and money that smells weird. With his files. Cleaning the toilet, staying at home with your files, and cleaning the toilet, and weighing yourself, and seeing how out of shape you may be. That's not relatable. And going to the radio station full of the hits you remember. Yeah, that was phenomenal. That is a great video. Just standing in the laundry room with the lights and the guitar and the laundry on the guitar. That one's great. Both of these songs were really, really awesome. No wonder the jurors selected them to be finalists for the Logan Awards. The Logan Awards will, of course, be happening March 7th, I think. I think it's March 7th. I should know that. I'm hosting it. March 7th at Marscon in Bloomington, St. Paul, Minneapolis, near Mall of America. Information about all of that is in the link in the description box below. Links to these videos, if you want to see them without me yammering all over them, is in the description box below. Go show these original artists some love. If you liked this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things to feed the algorithm to get more eyeballs onto these videos. Please check out the other Marscon stuff, like the fundraiser CD, and if you really want to help out this channel, consider supporting me on Patreon, where patrons get to see these videos early, get my music and comedy early, get your name over here like these folks do, and all sorts of other cool perks. Anyway, that's all for this week. We'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
When it comes to getting older, I find it so hard to adjust to my hairy ears and shoulders, and not knowing what to trust. No, I don't mean the government, and I don't mean my friends. I can't take this punishment.